Hello and welcome to part 1 of my quick guide to the Brother Scan and Cut Canvas design suite. This video is intended for new users or new users that have registered and are unsure of what to expect from the Scan and Cut canvas. It's just a simple overview. I'll be doing more tutorials and techniques in the future on different videos. When first logging in, this is the home screen you will come to. There's an easy access link here to the help file. Very well worth reading as there's lots of information in there to get you going and to help you out. If you haven't yet registered for a free account, just click on the new button, go through the registration process, and then obviously you can come back here and log in with your login ID and password. If you forget either of those, you've got links here to help you get access to your account. At the bottom of the screen you've got the release notes and the date of the most recent version of the Scan and Cut canvas. You don't need to change anything on your computer or your machine. This will automatically update when you log in. The next screen that you'll come across is the My Projects screen. This is where you'll have stored any of your existing projects or perhaps where you will start new projects. I'm just going to highlight here for you where I've stored my projects so you can see all of the different thumbnails here of different things that I've got going on, and also the big purple new button is where you'll start new projects. If I need to see more of my projects at once, there is a little toggle button top right of the screen that will help me do that. If I want to go in and edit any of my existing projects, I just hover my mouse over the thumbnail and click on the Edit Project button. I can also download my projects directly here by clicking on the download button and taking it to your USB stick and then onto my machine. If I want to remove a project, there's also a delete key at the top of the thumbnail. To start a new project, just click on the new button and then you'll be taken to the design screen. The design screen has many different functions. You can see a lot of the controls are situated at the top of the screen. I always start a project by giving it a title. This is what it will also be known as when you download it to your USB stick, so give it a memorable name. Next to this, I can start a new project, I can save an existing project, I can start an image tracing from a JPEG perhaps, or I can start an SVG conversion. Those are the 4 buttons next to the project title. Those 4 functions, plus a couple of others, are also available from the project menu. This is also a handy way in order to get back to your My Project screen, or change the area size of the mat that you're working on. Next to those 4 buttons we have our editing features. The select key obviously brings your mouse back to a pointer and you can use it to select and control lots of different things on screen. The next 2 functions are line drawing, then you have undo, redo. You've then got some welding features, so that could be welding, cropping, combining or punching out different combinations of shapes. You can also add outlines with these edit functions. These functions are also available via the edit menu, but they won't become visible until you have shapes on your mat. So as you can see here on the edit screen, many of these options are greyed out at the moment because I have nothing going on my mat and nothing selected to work with. They'll become more relevant and I'll give you more of an idea of those later in this video and in more future videos. We can also change the size or the zoom level of the screen so we can get maximum visibility of the project that we're working on in 2 different ways. We can either type in a number in the percentage box or drag a selection box using the magnifying glass to hone in on a very precise area. If you are zooming in, you can move the mat around with the scroll bars to the right and the bottom of the screen. Those options again, plus a couple more, are available from the View menu as well. Might be worth just taking your time to have a look through those, perhaps even in conjunction with your help PDF document that was available from that menu screen, that's also now available from the top right of your screen using the Help drop-down button. Next up, if we move over to the left of the screen after we look at that mat, we'll see various other functions. We have a download button where we can start downloading the project that we have on screen, and we also have our pattern selection boxes. The basic shapes are very similar to the ones that you have on your machine already, and they will combine lots of different things from squares to triangles to tetrahedrons, stars and what have you. You can obviously drag as many of those as you like onto your mat and start editing with them. It's just a case of simple drag and drop with those shapes. When you drag and drop a shape onto the screen, you'll have lots of editing nodes around the shape itself, also rotating and resizing and stretching and so on. Now you can see that the edit functions have lit up. You can use the undo button to cancel out anything you didn't want to do, and you can also reselect by taking your mouse over a shape and clicking on it. Perhaps you'd even like to add an outline. Might be worth just trying a couple of those things before you move on. The borders section again is very similar to that found on the machines, and again it's simple drag and drop. Just take the design over onto the mat and release your mouse key and it will be there ready for you to work with in your project. We also have lots of pre-designed sentiments here as well to work with that we can weld to other shapes or perhaps just cut at different sizes. Again, it's all drag and drop in this case. You have the same editing nodes, and also something I haven't pointed out yet is that bottom left of the design mat screen you have the size, so you can see exactly what size your shape is going to be when it cuts out. Working with text in the Scan and Cut canvas is slightly different to what you would expect from design software. What you do is you click on the font that you want to use, a text box will then appear on your cutting mat, you then double click on this, highlight the text that you don't want and then type what you do want. So here I'm typing hello, and then obviously once you click off that you then have the editing functions back in play as well there. You can again go back in there and double click on it again and edit that if there's a spelling mistake or you want to change the sentiment. That works the same whichever font you're using. Once you've completed your project, you can save the file by clicking on overwrite this project, or you can save it as another project with a different title if you are perhaps editing something and want to change the design going forward. To download, you can either do that from the project menu or the big blue button on the left, and when you complete, just click on My Projects. If you haven't saved something, you may get this error message as well, and it will ask you to stay on the page and save your project, or you can simply leave the page, abandon the project, and come back to the My Projects screen. To edit a project, just hover over the thumbnail, click on the Edit button, and the software will load up your design as you last saved it. You can then go back in, select any of those shapes, add to the shapes, change them, edit them, weld them, whatever you want to do. Again here you can see that the edit functions are now lit up because we've got a shape selected, so you can start duplicating perhaps if you want to add a few more, or perhaps you want to just leave things as they are. So all I would do then is just press My Projects and come out. And that pretty much sums up the Scan and Cut canvas. It's very, very simple to use. Just have a play, just get playing. There's nothing lost and you've nothing to lose to start playing with it. If you're waiting for your machine, perhaps it's an idea to start signing in here and start designing projects before your machine arrives. Once I'm finished, I just click the Log Out button and that takes me back to the home screen.